At Straight Talk, we give much-needed context to the Turkish perspective on global events. We demystify Turkey's policies and bring clarity to regional and international issues.
And to further discuss President Erdogan's landmark visit to Iraq, joining me now from Istanbul is Cengiz Tomar. He is a professor at Marmara University, and from Islamabad, Hanna Hussein. He's a political analyst. Gentlemen, welcome to Straight Talk. It's good to have you on the program. So, Hanan, Turkish President Erdogan was in Iraq on Monday, his first visit to the country since 2011. What do you make of the timing of this visit as it comes at a time of heightened tensions in the Middle East?
Thank you. I think it was critically timed. I think we are talking about a Middle Eastern situation that is highly in flux. We've seen that a lot of the focus on core issues concerning Turkey and Iraq seem to be put on the back burner when it comes to the amount of priority that they demand. We talk about security cooperation, pressing water security issues, a lot of the talks on oil exports, and of course connectivity, because the idea of securing the region at a time when there's so much warfare, when there's so much spillovers, and the fear of an all-out war kind of looms large as well, is something that this particular visit is to kind of factor. Mm-hmm. And on top of that, for Iraq and Turkey to kind of proceed with their core priorities, including security cooperation, is something that deserves to be on the forefront, because these challenges have preceded the current tensions in the Middle East and obviously demand a more forward-looking approach to ensure stability between both sides. Yeah.
So, Cengiz, where do both countries stand when it comes to counterterrorism and economic cooperation? Because 1 month ago, foreign ministers of Turkey and Iraq agreed to set up a joint committee against terrorism. How has that played out so far?
It's going well up to now. This is the most important issue between the countries, and Turkey and Iraq, and security issues, and also unity of Iraq and PKK and Daesh. Other terrorist organizations are affecting the security in the Middle East, especially the collaboration between Iraq and Turkey. I think in next 6 months we will see the most effective operations and collaboration between the two countries about the terrorism in the region, and it will affect the whole region, also trade and collaboration between Iraq and Turkey.
So, Hanan, one of the highlights of Erdogan's visit, which you just briefly mentioned, was the signing of a preliminary agreement between Turkey, Iraq, Qatar, and the United Arab Emirates to cooperate on the Development Road project. How significant is this?
I think it's really significant. The Development Road project is something that entails stakes from key countries as well. I think Turkey previously pointed out that key Gulf powers were interested, and that it was hopeful that they would move forward and kind of advance their stakes in this project. And I think this is kind of like a testament to how all countries want to move forward in that direction. I think with all of the turmoil that's happening in the region, it has reinforced the need for greater development cooperation, and to ensure that the effective use of intercontinental railroads is something that benefits countries. Of course, Turkey remains a central component of how that's going to turn out. We do see that the forecourt is also set to be operationalized since 2024, since 2025, with key developments happening this year. So with that kind of momentum coming forward, I think Qataris and the Emirati officials who were part of this particular agreement is something that sends a positive signal and reinforces the fact that this is a regional, game-changing sort of a project, which obviously does aid Iraq's development, but affords a much-needed transit, a multi-railroad network, which obviously would advance Turkey's stakes and also the countries involved. So I think it's a very positive step, and this formal agreement gives both sides plenty to build on.
So, Cengiz, Iraq launched this $17 billion project just last year. But given the recent tensions between Israel and Iran, is this still viable? I mean, what are the main challenges?
Actually, it is the most viable trade route in comparison to others in the region, and also in Qatar and United Arab Emirates there. So this is very important for the cooperation in the region in general. I think, Iran doesn't like this kind of trade route between Iraq and Turkey and Europe. This is a main challenge. Also, we have to look at Erbil's positions and Kurdish leaders' position in Iraq. This is very important as well. In general, Israel never wants anything, that Turkey gains from this point, and also security and collaboration between the countries in the region, except for Israel. These are the main challenges, and also we can add the United States. I think United States is not very happy with this trade route project between Turkey and Iraq. But if they want really Turkey and Iraq to be safe for the both countries, and also very fruitful collaboration through the Europe, I think it tackles some problems in the region, especially security problems and collaboration problems, and it gives more hope for the region and horizons of collaboration in the region with other countries.
So, Hanan, over the weekend, Turkish warplanes struck suspected PKK positions in northern Iraq. What do you think the position of the autonomous region is towards these operations, and how will Erbil be reacting to the latest developments?
I think the fact that Turkey had already indicated that it was going to take, a zero compromise approach to these terrorist hideouts is something that has sent quite a signal, regardless of the behavior that comes forward. I think Erbil's reaction, I expect it to be a bit more tempered, because in the past few months we've seen the Turkish intelligence chief also engage with both Baghdad and Erbil, and talking about how both all parties can come together to move a decisive crackdown. And I think the fact that Baghdad has also formally banned the outfit talks about greater alignment in strategy going forward. And it's important to note that Turkey is going to follow up with a spring offensive again going forward, because this is a recurring exercise. We've seen more than a dozen of these terrorists be wiped out again. So I think Erbil's reaction, the fact that President Erdogan did stand by and went and engaged closely on matters concerning security and economy, show that in order for Kurdistan to maintain Turkey's goodwill, it will have to be more sensitive and very responsive to Turkey's legitimate security concerns.
So, Cengiz, what's next on the Kirkuk-Ceyhan oil pipeline, which remains closed now over a year now? How would its resumption impact the economies of both countries? And the question is actually, do Ankara and Baghdad also need Erbil's consent?
Yeah, I think so. This is a very important project for the peace in the region. And also collaboration of both countries. And 1 year, it's a very big loss for both countries. And also, that then because of the COVID-19 economic crisis in the world, and all the regions and all the countries, they need some kind of energy, and to make it critical for all countries. That's why this is very important for Turkey and Iraq, and also for the collaboration. It worked a lot, more than 20, 30 years. And then I think also, I think Erbil's consent is very important. The problem of Iraq is now there's a new government there, and if they have with collaboration with the Kurdish leaders in the region, I think they will make Iraq safer and richer, and Iraq needs that.
So, Hanan, Turkish President Erdogan, after his meeting with Iraq's Prime Minister al-Sudani back in March 2023, said Turkey will increase the amount of water released from the Tigris River to help Iraq tackle its water shortage. How important is this?
I think it's really important. And I think the fact that Iraq and Turkey both are receptive to the changing climatic effects on the amount of water distribution, the access, and the very visible threat of droughts, especially which Iraq is obviously facing, is something that Turkey has been a bit more forthcoming on. And I think from this visit, one of the key takeaways is this 10-year agreement that they've signed to kind of move forward and see how these water disputes in light of climatic shifts can be better negotiated is something that's a tangible expression of cooperation from Turkey with Iraq. And I think these water disputes have sprung out in the past, but the fact that this visit by President Erdogan, the first in more than 10, 12 years, is something that speaks to all the core areas that Iraq would want to be receptive to. And we've seen that Iraq has tried in the past to maintain concessions, but not know how to, talk about this very sensitive issue in a way that also is sensitive to Turkey's own interests. And I think this 10-year agreement would be something that I would closely watch. It's a space that's likely to lead to greater, closer cooperation as both countries look to kind of work through these shared water resources.
All right, gentlemen, unfortunately, we'll have to leave it here. Thank you very much for joining me on Straight Talk.